Hello again. So this is episode 3 or mission 3 of my Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. This time I'm going to be launching a satellite that I've made out of stock parts, this middle bit here, and going to launch it into an orbit around the planet, and hopefully a geostationary orbit, meaning that it'll stay in the same position over the surface as the Earth spins and as it rotates around the planet. So I've just finished making this rocket. It's probably overpowered. I haven't tested it yet. I'm hoping that I'll get it working in one go, so I'm going to do a quick spot check. So I want all these 4 engines to go off at the beginning, and the rocket boosters, which is right. And then after that I do not want absolutely everything to detach. Just the 3 solid rocket fuel boosters, because they'll be going off first, then followed by these 3 tanks here. I'm assuming that's what this is, if I can see in there. Oh yeah, up there, yep, that's right. Then after that I'll be detaching this piece here, which is the final piece of this rocket, and then I'll just drift a little further, I suppose, and then detach the satellite. What are these? Oh, I do not want to detach them at all. Those are just for looks of this thing. Then after that I'll detach this little pod here, and my Kerbal can return safely back to the planet. Hopefully this rocket's going to be okay. I didn't test this one. I did do one a bit beforehand where I launched into geostationary orbit, something similar, but I didn't test this one, so hopefully it'll be okay. I'm just going to go ahead and launch. Hopefully all the things are the same order. Sometimes they can change if you go in and edit it. Okay, come on, load. Here we go. SAS on, not RCS. And launch. Okay, this is looking a lot better this time. Oh wow, we're getting speed incredibly fast. Yeah, these solid rocket boosters are a bit overpowered for this rocket, but I suppose it means we're going to get high pretty quick, and it'll be good. Oh, it's Bob Kerman, one of the famous ones this time. So yeah, he's a pro at this kind of thing. Okay, just detached my solid rocket boosters. Jesus, we're going fast. Okay, so around 15,000 meters again, I'll start tilting over, the typical thing that I do. Tilting over to about 70-degree mark, and get ourselves into an orbit to start with, and then after I get into an orbit I'll change it so that we can get into a bigger orbit that'll go to be a geostationary one. Okay, here we go. Time to start tilting over. I'm going to use the RCS on the satellite because I'm not going to be able to control the satellite anyway, because it's not actually manned, so it'll be fine to use this up. I'm hardly using any anyway. Okay, so that should hold well, and let's have a look at where we are on the globe. So I'd say I'm gonna bring us up to about 100,000 meters. I just want to make sure I don't run out of fuel in the outer stacks. Okay, so about there is fine for the moment. Yep, so we've got a bit of fuel left in these 3 outer tanks to help us move sideways a bit when we get closer to our apoapsis. I want to stay ahead of that, so I suppose about here, maybe around 90,000 meters, I'll start burning sideways. Might as well start tilting over now. I want to try and stay ahead of my apoapsis this time, because last time it was a bit of a chase to try and make the orbit. Okay, that should be okay. And I'm going to speed up time a little bit. Not too much though. Oh, we're at 96, okay. Hopefully we should be okay. Yeah, we're grand. Yeah, it's moving away from us, so we're fine. Just adjusting a little bit there. Oh, it's getting closer now. Maybe I'll just tilt it back a little bit here, try and stay out of it a little bit. Oh, the 3 outer tanks just emptied and I missed it. That's probably why we started slowing down a good bit there. Okay, so they're going to fall back into the sea nicely. We are probably going to have a bit of a chase again because I didn't realize that they had emptied. But we should be okay. 3 tanks of fuel to get into an orbit and to get into a geostationary orbit as well. So this is the distance approximately. I think it's a little bit more or less or something like that to get into a geostationary orbit. Something similar to this though. And it should reasonably well match up with the surface. Maybe not if I speed up time, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, what am I doing? Yeah, that's okay. Here we go. Gonna be making an orbit soon. I've managed to get back ahead of my apoapsis there because it keeps tilting as I go around the surface. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, just as so I can get a bit closer to the apoapsis. I don't want to waste all my fuel. And I'm going to stop it about here actually so I can tilt the ship back over again. Okay, slow down. That's a bad place for the RCS thrusters because it's not exactly a good, doesn't have a good angle to tilt it around at. No good kind of fulcrum or whatever the hell you call it. So that's a pretty good distance to start pushing out this side. So okay, so that's a circular orbit within 2,000 meters. So that's pretty even. I'm going to, well, it doesn't really matter since it's a circular orbit where I start pushing out. So I might as well start pushing this out and approaching the target number of 2,860 something. Let me just quickly check what the number is, what the exact altitude is. Okay, so it looks like the number to get is 2,868.4 meters. So that's yeah, it's a bit more than this here. So I'm going to use that as a reference guide now. I'm going to crank up the engines and push out this side a bit. What I might do is push it out a little bit, go around the other side and push out this side and keep going and doing that sort of thing rather than just doing it all in one go, because I think it might be more fuel efficient to do it this way. So here we go. So we've got that side pushed out. Speed up time. Go around to the other side. I'm going to slow it down just there so I can have enough time to spin this right away around again to get it to be in the right direction. Slow, 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 slow. Okay, that should be alright. And oh, speed up time a little more. There, looks good. Oh, I need to adjust a little more actually. Okay. So push out this side a little more now, making sure I don't go past the target. Let me see how much fuel I've got left. I've got 1 tank of fuel left. We should hopefully make it. I'd say we'll make it. Maybe not. Ah, we'll make it. Yeah, we have to make it, surely. So 2,800. So I'll slow this down a bit because it accelerates quite quickly. 2,862. 66. Actually, let me see if I turn on the RCS. Fire it backwards if I can. Whoops. Fire it forwards. 68.5. Yeah, that's close enough. It's going to change anyway once I deploy the thing. Just the decoupler pushing on the satellite will make its orbit change a little bit anyway, so I don't have to be too precise. So I'm going to go around the other side now. And again, I'm going to stop it around here. Correct my direction. Oh, I don't want to confuse myself too much by spinning it around like that. Looks cool, but it can be kind of confusing. There we go. And a little bit more. Get a little bit closer. I want to maximize the amount of fuel we have. I've got I should have enough fuel there. I've got about a third of a tank of fuel to push out the other side of the orbit, completing the geostationary aspect of it. So 2,868, I believe, kilometers, as opposed to meters as it's showing here. 2,000. Oh, I'm pushing our apoapsis away from us a little bit. I don't want it to get away from me because that's changing this side then. As you can see, it's actually grown a little bit just by me being a little bit off the distance. So I'm going to go forward a little bit more. Okay, and get back online. Just centering my ship pointing in the right direction again, and push this out again. 7, 8. Oh, here we go. It's getting close now. Okay, so that's 270, 273. So it's a bit too much. So we'll be going a little bit slower than the Earth is spinning. But if you take a look now, as I go around to this side, you'll see that it looks like the Earth is staying still, even though it is spinning. I just happen to be spinning around in at roughly the same speed. So it's geostationary, as it stays over the same geographical location, I suppose is where that comes from. So here we go again, and see it exactly, roughly, exactly matching up. Okay, so we're around here now, and I'm going to go ahead and lose the rocket on the end of this because I don't need it anymore. I'm just going to try and return in my little pod after the satellite has been launched. It'd be good if I could get it to have some thrust or something, or be in a different direction. That would be pretty good. If I can, I wonder if I can spin the ship around a little bit and see if when I detach it, if it'll fly off in a certain direction then because of that spin. I'll turn up the RCS a little bit, get a bit of speed going. Okay, and release. There we go. So we got it away from ourselves, which would have been a little bit tougher to do probably without that bit of spin. So let's see how we're doing. So this is 270, 272. That's pretty good, but it's not exactly right. I'm thinking once I release this anyway, the kind of backward force of the decoupler will probably bring it down a little bit on one side, so it might be just right. So I'm aiming in this direction. I'm just gonna release this satellite now. There we go. So if we take a look here, we are in geostationary orbit. That is too, despite the fact that we're far away from each other now. But the satellite has been launched. The moon in the background and the sun. Bob doesn't look very happy. Maybe I probably should have gotten him to do some EVA or something and activated the satellite or something like that. But I guess it's too late for that now. I'll click onto the satellite in a minute and do a quick time warp, and we'll see that it's pretty much exactly the speed we want. It's not exactly the speed we want, but it's pretty close. And I don't want this video to take all night, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this little pod around and burn retrograde or backwards to slow us down enough to return home. Okay, so we're within the atmosphere there. I think there should be enough atmospheric drag, around 7,000 meters, to slow us down to a complete stop to get down to the surface and everything. So let's go ahead and go back and land Bob Kerman back down in the ground. I can't see the satellite anymore. I suppose the glare of the sun is too much. Maybe it's above or below. I haven't got a clue. Whoop, there we go. That was quick. And back in with a warp of 1, unfortunately, meaning we're going to be pretty slow. Oh, it's quite a shallow thing as well. Okay, it looks like we're slowing down pretty well. Oh, apparently I already hit it. So yeah, we're slowing down enough. We'll land in the sea. We'll be perfectly safe. Not too far from the KSC. It's just this land over here on the other side of this water. Normally you wouldn't return a full ship like this. You'd just return the module, but this is a reasonably light thing, so the parachute can handle it. Slows me down to a survivable speed, and even if that was too high, I still have power in the rocket to slow me down. So the satellite should be safely launched up into a close enough to a geostationary orbit, and we'll take a look at it in just a sec after this landing. Actually, I haven't seen this orange suit. I don't know if it's an orange suit when he goes on EVA as well. There we go. Safely launched. Oh, apparently the things are gone. I won't question that. Oh, it's a white suit. And there he is, back from his satellite launch. And he's pretty happy with himself. And while we're looking at him, I'm going to have a look at, well, that was my first attempt. And here it is, the Kerbal satellite, debris apparently, but I'll click into it and see how it is doing. And here it is, my all stock power satellite. This is just one of those jet air intake things that doesn't really do anything at the moment, I don't think, but it's pretty good. It's in an orbit, and if I speed up time, you'll see that it is in geostationary orbit. Looks like it's not moving at all, but you can see in relation to the sun on the stars that we are actually rotating around. But yep, so there it is. Satellite launched into geostationary orbit. Geostationary orbit, I should say. Yeah, it looks like we got it pretty accurate. It seems like there's not much of a wobble or anything like that, because it could be high on a higher plane or a lower plane, as well as being faster or slower. So that is how you get it into geostationary orbit. In the next video I'll be doing a moon landing, I suppose. I suppose it's the next kind of logical step. Let me have a look. So I've already done some pretty alright moon landings before. I never really crashed on the moon. I've got like a few basic rules that I always follow, and they always seem to work pretty well to always safely land me on the surface. So it might be a semi kind of as well as it just being a mission, I might just tell you the simple kind of rules that I follow to always like land safely on the moon, with enough fuel to return. So it'll be a kind of a semi tutorial, I suppose. So thanks for watching.